Hello everyone, welcome back to another edition of eMoment.
Hello Sensi, hello everyone, glad to be back.
Here are the headlines news.
National Dialogue, Cellular Commission on the Electoral Process installed last Friday. Falouba, winner of the trophy of the best research. In the case of death of Faluka, 3 police officers and 1 place on the mandate of deposit. Today we celebrate Capitaine Mbaye Diagne, a Senegalese hero in Rwanda. In Gambia, 2 generals were acquitted for desertion, while 8 others sentenced over coup plot. In Nigeria, the President Muhammadu Buhari re-elected for a second term. Amadou Gallo Fall becomes the president of the Basketball African League. In soccer, Senegalese coach Aliou Cissé selects 25 players for the upcoming CAN. For the spotlight today, a young gifted lady by the name of Mame Diarra Diop, founder of Suñu Cosaan, speaks to us. In Health Today, we will be talking about the benefits of eating dinner early.
eMoment National News.
The Cellular Commission on the Electoral Process was installed last Friday morning by the Minister of the Interior, Aly Ngouille Ndiaye, for the general direction of the elections under the effective presence of the society, the pole of the opposition, and the presidential majority. On this occasion, the retired General Mamadou Niang, appointed chairman of the commission, says he is aware of the heaviness of his mission and says he spares no effort to reach strong consensus. Let's listen to an extract from General Mamadou Niang interview.
L'équipe qui m'accompagne, nous sommes des facilitateurs.
My team and I are just facilitators, but the dialogue is between the political actors. It's up to them to find the best solution in order to be in good terms. On our side, we will be managing so as to facilitate the debate, and I'm sure that will be a consensus between them. This dialogue will be a great victory for our country, Senegal.
Demain sera lumineux et rayonnant pour le Sénégal si nous restons unis et solidaires.
eMoment on eRadio 90.3.
Falouba Doctor in Information and Communication Sciences wins the trophy for the best research on the protection of the rights of children in 2019. The winner received his prize on the occasion of the 39th National Conference of the Carrefour National Open Educational Action, held under the general theme for universal and unconditional protection of the child. The laureate's thesis work focused on the non-protection of the child, an African evil, the begging of Talibé children in Senegal on the background of entrustment to Marabout. In front of the assembly, he quoted the children working on the gold mines in Burkina Faso. Children, he says, who are attracted by the mirage of gold in the spaces of non-right. Not without mentioning the phenomenon of vide maison in Benin, referring to the children placed who eventually become itinerant resellers in the markets of Cotonou. In Ivory Coast, he mentioned children microbes, who have a similar mode of operation to gangs, armed with knife, machetes, etc. They assault, kill, and loot. What about the phenomenon of abandoned children in Niger, children reared in Togo, or Talibés in Senegal? He points to the confection system, a cultural phenomenon, particularly the central role of the biological parent, which is a determinant of the economy, with the major consequence of exploitation.
eRadio 90.3.
3 police officers, Daouda Ndiaye, Ndongo Kane, and Baba Koundoul, and 1 local security officer, Louis Diouf, were placed under a detention warrant Monday, May 27th. They are being prosecuted for deliberate bodily harm that led to the death of Faluka at the Detention and Correctional Center in Diourbel. The accused in question was arrested on April 27th for offering and selling Indian hemp during his arrest. They were on duty at the police station of Mbake. According to the investigation, the prosecutor ordered an autopsy after the death of the defendant, aged 24, on May 2nd. We will follow up with the court process regarding the suspects.
eMoment National News.
The Tactical Training Center of the Military Zone No. 7 of Chess, CET-7, was baptized in the name of Capitaine Mbaye Diagne. The ceremony was held Friday, May 31st in the presence of his widow, Yacine Mar Diop, and the Rwandan ambassador to Senegal, Mathias Haré Bamugu. The center that occupies a central place in the operational readiness of all contingents for peacekeeping operation in the sub-region in Africa and around the world. As a reminder, Captain Mbaye Diagne alone saved several hundred people from the genocide in Rwanda at the risk of his own life. It was during this mission that he gave his life to save the lives of others. In the face of all of those atrocities, he refused to be passive and decided to save as many people as he could, said General Cheikh Gueye. The captain passed away on May 31st, 1994. He returned alone to the force headquarters when a shell exploded beside his vehicle. He was killed 12 days after his return from Senegal, where he had left his wife and 2 children. The tribute given to him made it possible to engrave definitely in letters of gold his heroic legacy to present and future generations.
E-Moment on E-Radio 90.3.
The president of the Association of the Residents of Rwanda in Senegal, Patrick Kamaraga, has this to say.
Captain Mbaye, who was part of the mission in Rwanda, he was there during the genocide. He's one of the high considered, regarded Senegalese who was in Rwanda, who did a lot to help. He's a hero. He's a hero to many. He saved so many people during the genocide. He has received some of the highest honors that the country has. Today, I think his family is always invited to be part of everything that is organized on state level. So he's a son of Africa that stepped up when it was difficult, when he knew the risk of losing his own life. And he did it anyway. Against at some point also the instructions from the organization he was part of, because as you guys remember, the United Nations had given instructions to their forces in Rwanda during the genocide not to intervene. So he did not want to stay there watching people dying. So he saved hundreds of people. He died while trying to save other people. He's a big name. He's a hero to Rwandans, and he's a hero to Africa.
E-Moment International News.
The Gambia's court-martial on Monday has found Brigadier Generals Umpa Mendy and Ansoumana Tamba not guilty for desertion, but this verdict is subject of confirmation from the Chief of Defense Staff. The 2 generals were charged with desertion, contrary to Gambia Armed Forces Act, after they allegedly abandoned official duties for 1 year without official authority, when they accompanied the former president Yaya Jammeh to exile in Equatorial Guinea in January 2017. They were arrested in 2018 after they returned to the country. Meanwhile, the same court sentenced 8 soldiers from 3 to 9 years for treason and other charges. Amadou Bari, E-Radio, reporting from Banjul.
After more than 1 year in custody, General Mendy and Ansoumana Tamba, very close to former President Jammeh, has not been found guilty. The 2 generals denied the charge and argued in their defense that they were none of the Gambia Armed Forces Command. Speaking after the verdict, General Ansoumana Tamba said this is a beginning for his new life.
I am just assuring all Gambians that I am today more ready to serve my nation and to lay my life for this nation, for the security of the nation and development of this nation than ever before.
His lawyer is also happy with the news, saying he is keeping fingers crossed, waiting for the confirmation of the Chief of Defense Staff CDS, Ijoma Achekbiyo.
Well, it's refreshing to see that we can still expect that justice be done, and we see justice done. It is subject to confirmation, so we'll still keep our fingers crossed.
Meanwhile, the same court sentenced 8 soldiers from 3 to 9 years for treason and other charges. The court found them guilty of plotting to overthrow the government of President Adama Barrow. They were charged with 9 offenses, include treason and mutiny. The families of the convicted soldiers broke down in tears, screaming as the president of the court-martial read the verdicts. Almami Jiba is unhappy with the verdict.
So far I'm concerned, my reaction to this is shocking. A court-martial that had went for 2 consecutive years. The fact of the matter is, if a person is maybe apprehended, he or she should be sent to mile 2 at the remand win. But these people have been convicted already.
And he's going to appeal.
We are going to appeal. Right away from here, we will go and see the lawyer, discuss with the lawyer and see mechanisms that we'll put in place to make sure we fight to the last dot of this.
According to the initial particulars of offense, the officers have conspired to unlawfully overthrow the government of the Gambia by arresting all ministers, battalion commanders and senior members of the Gambia Armed Forces, as well as forcefully take armory from guards. Reporting from Banjul, I'm Amadou Barry.
Thank you for this report straight from Gambia with our correspondent Amadou Barry.
E-Moment International News.
In Abuja, Nigeria, the President Muhammadu Buhari has been sworn in for a second term as Nigeria's president, vowing to tackle security threats and root out corruption. The 76-year-old leader was sworn in on Wednesday amid tight security in the Nigerian capital of Abuja. He did not make a speech during the low-profile event, attended by members of the diplomatic community. Buhari, a former military ruler, won 56% of the votes to defeat his main challenger, former Vice President Atiku Abubakar of the People's Democratic Party, in the February election, which had been beset by a host of security and logistic issues that delayed the vote by a week. Following the announcement of the election results, Abubakar filed a petition against the outcome, a process that is ongoing in Nigeria's appellate court. Buhari will face a number of challenges during the second term as he tries to fulfill his election promises, including dealing with security threats and managing a sluggish economy and a worrying unemployment rate.
E-Moment Sports.
Amadou Gallo Fall, new president of the Basketball African League. His nomination was announced by the NBA on Tuesday, May 28, 2019. Let's find out about his journey.
Born in Kaolack, he began his studies at Tiwawan, earned a baccalaureate in Dakar at the Vanvo High School Current Lamine Gueye before entering the Faculty of Natural Science of Cheikh Anta Diop University. The young Saloum will integrate the Duke before flying to Tunisia, where he will continue his studies in biology and basketball until his talent detected he won a scholarship for an American university. Amadou Fall becomes a magna cum laude graduate of the University of the District of Columbia, where he played at the center of the basketball team and thus began his international sports career. It will be cut short by a wrist injury. But another will open for Kaolack's son, who will work for Dallas Mavericks of the NBA as Director of Player Staff and Vice President of International Affairs. He was the team's Goodwill Ambassador internationally and oversaw their reconnaissance missions. He has also traveled to Africa as an integral part of Basketball Without Borders, the NBA and FIBA's Elite Basketball World Development Program, which uses the sport to create positive social change in the areas of education, health, and well-being. The young Gallo, influenced by Doctors Without Borders, had cherished the dream of becoming a doctor to help communities not deviate from his beliefs and values over time. Thus, he became the founder of SEED, Sports for Education and Economic Development, a global non-profit organization that this visionary created in 1998 with the mission to use sport as a vehicle for inspiration, development, empowerment, and support for the holistic development of promising African youth. As of Tuesday, May 28, the NBA has selected Amadou Gallo Fall as president of the Basketball Africa League. This will be a 12-team league that is scheduled to start play in 2020 under the supervision of the NBA and FIBA, the world's governing body of basketball. It marks the first time that the NBA will help operate a league outside of North America. Sport, as a lever for development, becomes a reality with this worthy son of Senegal, Amadou Gallo Fall.
Congratulations again to Mr. Fall, and we wish him the best of luck in this new journey.
E-Radio 90.3.
As we are getting ready for the upcoming 2019 CAN, the coach of Senegal, Aliou Cissé, summons 25 players, all expatriates, for the course of the preparations for the CAN 2019 from June 4 at Saly. The 25 Lions of the Teranga are expected in the Den. for an internship that begins June 4th in the city seaside of Salik. No last-minute surprise is to be found in this pre-selection. For more information about the selection, just go to our website www.emedia.sn.
E-Moment Culture.
This week's spotlight is a young gifted woman named Mamjara Diop, creator of Sunu Chosan. She is telling us more about her work and upcoming events.
So Sunu Chosan is a youth development agency that was founded in 2011 in Brooklyn, New York. And what we basically do is we cater to children within the African diaspora through arts and education. We have a lot of team building activities, and we basically do a lot of STEM and STEAM activities so that these kids can make better life choices in their life and, teach them how to be really positive global citizens in society. It was started in 2011, and after we had an after-school program in the States, and then I decided to come to Senegal to actually basically have a summer camp here. So we partnered with the Senegalese American Bilingual School, which we were there for a couple of years. Every summer we would come and we would have a traditional summer camp where we would do English immersion through the arts. We would have our teaching artists from the States, and it was such a compelling program because everyone was so diverse, but we always empowered through the African diaspora what it means to have, culture and be empowered by it. And we did it through the arts, through education. So that was something that was really compelling for the students. This is our first year moving back to Senegal, and we became a year-round program. So we're partnered with different schools. We have arts and education programs in around 3 schools: the International School of Dakar, Inco Waka, and also Le Collège Bilingue. And what I basically did with our team is we would go and teach arts. So we had the different disciplines of art. So we have theater, dance, music, spoken word, stepping. So all of those different subjects, all of those different activities, and we would accumulate it to have a showcase at the end. We always looking for volunteers. We're always looking for staff members to come and join. It's such a family-oriented group. And we are on Instagram, which is Sunu Chosan, SUNUTHIOSSANE. On our Instagram, we also have a website. It's www.sunuchosan.org. And we have our Facebook page, which is Sunu Chosan Senegal. And if you guys need information or anything, or if anyone is really interested to being part of the program, what we basically do is we have our information session. So basically, this is our first annual fundraising gala in Senegal. So we're going to have it at this Urus Gallery. And this gala is basically for, we were invited to go to the States for a 4-H pilot program, youth development cultural exchange program at Virginia Chesterfield. And we're taking 10 students and 5 adults. So that these kids who, some of them have never been to the States before, have never even thought of traveling because they do live in poverty-stricken areas. So being able to have that opportunity for them is something that's so amazing. So that's why we're having this gala, so that we can get some funding and have these students have this unforgettable experience in a lifetime.
The gala will be held at the Urus Gallery in Almadi on June 8th at 7 p.m.
E-Moment Health.
As Ramadan is coming near to an end, and as we start engaging in a 3 daily meal, here are some tips to follow to live a healthier lifestyle. Eating dinner early and hitting your bed soon to get decent hours of sleep will prevent overeating at night. It is believed that late night dinner is linked to obesity. When you eat an early dinner, it will help you lose weight rapidly, as you would know what you are eating and the amount of calorie intakes. Post dinner, take a walk to burn the excess calories that you have consumed. You will not experience heartburn. Heartburn is a burning sensation in the central chest or upper central abdomen. There are a lot of people who go to bed right after dinner since their mealtime crosses their sleep schedule. Following this form of lifestyle will lead to a lot of heartburns, making you uncomfortable and losing out on sleep. You will gain more energy. When you digest your food properly in the right span of time, it provides you with more energy the following day. You will not feel heavy. Feeling light on the stomach with no bloating pain is one of the health benefits of having an early dinner. Having an early dinner and going to bed early gives you a chance to wake up to a brand new day. You can also exercise well in the morning if you have had an early dinner. You will also have an improved and better sleep. After a hard day at work, you intend to have the right amount of sleep. So having an early dinner can prevent you from sleeping late, thus allowing you to have a scheduled amount of sleep. You will also have more room for digestion. One of the ultimate health benefits of having an early dinner is that it provides more room for digestion no matter how heavy your meal is. And finally, a healthier heart. Since your food is digested in a proper way and in the right amount of time, it helps your heart to beat at a normal pace, thus keeping it healthy and stronger. For people suffering disorders like diabetes, thyroid, polycystic ovary syndrome, and cardiovascular diseases, it is advisable not only to have a light dinner, but also an early one. If we happen to take these salty food late at night, it will lead to water retention and bloating, but most significantly, a looming risk of high blood pressure.
Quote of the week on eMoment.
In honor of Captain May Jang, who selflessly saved hundreds of lives, giving them a chance to survive, you will always be celebrated.
How far you go in life depends on your being tender with the young, compassionate with the aged, sympathetic with the striving, and tolerant of the weak and strong. Because someday in your life you will have been all of this. George Washington Carver.
That's it for today. Thank you for listening. I'm your host, Sensi Diallo, and I'm Aminata Ndiaye.
Thank you, Sensi. Thank you, everybody, for listening.
We'd like to thank our producer, Stephanie Basugalupo, and on the technical side, Maxime Sen. We'll be back next Sunday on another edition of eMoment.